story about a Minnesota Twins legend will soon come to life on stage. Stage's theater company in Hopkins is adapting The Right Thing to Do, the Joe Mauer story, into a musical.
Our sports director, Joe Schmit, wrote this book. He's joining us today, along with the artistic director and the CEO of Stage's theater company, Boren-Barrett, here to talk a little bit more about some of the other performances hitting the stage as well. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, Sandy, let's start with you and some of the performances, and then we'll get into the new one behind the book that Joe wrote.
Our tagline is, "It's a season that brings us together." So these are all stories about friendship, family, love, some favorites like Charlotte's Web and Elf. We're also doing Giraffes Can't Dance, but the most exciting thing we have is the world premiere of The Right Thing to Do. We're really excited to be the first in the world to produce and create this world premiere musical.
Okay, I saw this. I was just thinking, where did I see this last week on Stage's Facebook page? And I thought, well, this is a no-brainer, and this is going to be fabulous. So tell us about the idea of taking what Joe and Joe did and turning it into a musical and putting it on stage. Why were you interested in doing that?
I'll be honest, I was less interested, I was less interested in Joe Mauer. That was the inroad for me, but the story is really about him as a young person. What did he do that was so unique as he was growing up? And kindness was at the core of it. And I just think young people are looking for these stars in our world, and what were they like as kids? And he was an incredibly generous, kind human. And spreading that in a really fun, splashy musical about Joe Mauer, to me, fit with Stage's mission and with the mission of the book beautifully.
Joe, how does it feel to have your book being turned into an onstage performance? Oh my goodness.
As Sandy knows, my family, my wife and my girls are very involved in theater. My wife directs plays. She started a theater camp 26 years ago that my daughter now runs. So very, very involved in theater. But I'm the only playwright in the family. So that's all I have to say. We're thrilled to death.
Did you think when you were writing this book that it would ever...
That it could be ever on stage?
No, I'll tell you what, it's become a movement. I tell this story when I speak. I have a professional speaking business, and I tell this story, and it's always a great story. And then that's when my publisher said, "Why don't you write this book?" And then all of a sudden, Sandy saw the book and said, "Why don't we make this book a play?" And now I have a documentary team that wants to do a documentary on it. So, but what it tells me is the world needs kindness now more than ever. Kindness is undefeated, and I think that giving it to a new generation is really cool.
Very, very neat.
Very cool.
I know that the book wasn't written overnight. It took some time. I know that a musical doesn't go to stage overnight. We're talking next April, we'll be able to see this on stage. It takes a little bit of time, but there's a lot that's happening behind the scenes, right? There's a process. Tell us about that.
Well, Stages creates new work in a pretty unique way in that we involve our young people in the writing, in the workshops. We'll be doing our first workshop of it in May with the composer and lyricist Michael Mahler. He wrote Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the musical, and he is a Stages alum. So he grew up at Stages. I directed him when he was 9 years old, and he is a generous father, composer, writer. We've already seen some of the drafts. The music's incredible.
It's incredible.
It's
incredible.
And true to Joe Mauer in that it's, there's a song called There's No Hero Here, because Joe is a really humble guy, right?
So humble.
And it's reflecting on him as a young person in a really, really genuine way, and it's going to be fun, splashy.
What was Joe's take when did you call him and deliver this news about this? What did he say?
Joe's so doggone humble, he was like, geez, I don't know. And then but what he really wants to do is start the discussion on kindness, and he wants to be an example to other people. He doesn't want himself, he doesn't want to be the hero of this story. He thinks the hero of this story is Mike, the young blind student who he walked to the lunchroom every day. But Joe said, as long as I don't have to sing, he's cool.
Is he going to be making an appearance on stage?
No, he would never do that.
He would never do that.
But what about you, Joe?
I actually want to sing and do it, but they won't let me.
Age requirements? Aged out of it?
No, talent requirements.
But someone will get to portray Joe Mauer. There's a young person that will play a very young Joe Mauer when he was very little, all the way up to him in high school. So what a great experience for an actor to take on and breathe life into a real living character.
Yeah, I've been to many of productions at Stages. I've been on stage there, not acting, but just introducing things. And the audience, everyone can get so involved. And the people behind the scenes, there's a lot of work that goes into this, not just if you're an actor or an actress. Right. If you like to do costumes or build props, there's something for everyone there, and it's important. I know that you really want to push kids and the arts, especially with programs being cut. I mean,
absolutely. And I think this ties also into schools. They can read this book. This is content that they are always talking about in their classrooms. It's not political. Kindness is just a thing we want kids to be. It's not something we're asking them to do. We want them to inherently be kind to each other. And I think it's a great message and a beautiful way to tell it.
And if I could say something real quickly about Stages, when we told Mike Halley, the young blind student who's now a grown man, that it was going to be at Stages, he was like, that's a great theater because they're so inclusive and they take care of, you really take care of anybody with any kind of handicap or disability.
They're special productions.
Yeah.
Is there one thing you two are most excited to see come to life from this book?
You know what? I just think watching the kids develop, at some point we're going to bring Joe and Mike to meet the cast. And I think that will be a special moment. And then they can sit there and talk about bullying, and they can talk about feeling lonely, and they can talk about what kindness means to them in their lives. I think there'll be a very powerful moment.
No doubt about it.
I think the juxtaposition of sports and arts, to me, that's really cool. Like, you don't have to be one or the other. You can love them both. And I love bringing that to the stage and bringing audiences who otherwise maybe wouldn't come, but because it's a play about Joe Mauer and baseball, they will. So
And then they'll come back and come back and come back and come back.
Tickets are on sale.
Thank you both so much. Okay, The Right Thing to Do, the Joe Mauer story, will premiere on April 10th of 2026. That is next year at Stages Theater in Hopkins. We're going to post details on Stages' full season on MinnesotaLive.com.